Hello, greetings, and welcome to Dividend Blasters. This is our 21st video. Wow, how time flies. I can't believe this is our 21st video. Well, this is a very exciting topic for me. This is strategic dividend investing. And the purpose here is to give you some guidance on how to choose the best dividend investment that's going to build your dividend snowball each and every month. Before we move on, a quick disclaimer. I am not a financial advisor. The purpose of this video is for information and education and reflects my own personal opinions. So please do your research, consult a financial advisor prior to making any financial decisions. Now, having said that, I have been an independent investor for more than 30 years. I have invested in stocks, ETFs, real estate, precious metals, physical gold and silver specifically, and in a little bit of the cryptos. So I'm fairly experienced in doing this, but I do not have a license. I have a regular day job, as I have for many years, but this is a passion of mine. However, I don't make major financial or investment decisions until I pick up the phone and call my licensed professional financial advisor, who I have employed for more than 20 years. So, anyway, all I'm saying is do the prudent thing. That's what I do. All right, let's move on. So what you see here on the first slide is a strategy, and this is nothing new. A lot of dividend investors, most dividend investors do this. They try to pace out when their dividends are going to pay them out. So they have some dividend yield or dividend income coming in. And this is really of more importance to folks that are retired and they are drawing on their dividend portfolio. And they rely on dividend payments to live, pay their bills. And that's great. I got that. And that's what really becomes more important. Some of us that are listening maybe aren't at that stage yet. Maybe we're still trying to build that dividend snowball. Some of us are closer than others. As we get a little longer in the tooth, hopefully we're a little closer. And so really what I'm focused here on is that, but also building that dividend snowball each and every month so that I know that I'm going to be getting a dividend payment and I'll be growing my holdings continuously. It's almost like an attack. So if you recall, I did a video, a couple of videos a few weeks ago about debt reduction and debt elimination and really attacking your debt while simultaneously or concurrently investing. Some folks will disagree with that. I got it. Some folks will say, hey, listen, get rid of your debt first. I got it. This is just a different approach. But anyway, the point here is while you may attack your debt, you're also attacking your investment. You're attacking it by growing it. And you're relentless and continuous in building that dividend snowball. So what you see here is really my portfolio of my dividend investments. Doesn't have any non-dividend investments here. What's the point of that? And I have those, but in this calendar, it's just the dividend investments. Each of these that I have, there is one exception. I do not at this time have realty income, ticker symbol O. I sold it last year in favor of going into Lockheed Martin, which I think is a wonderful company. And I love its mission. I love realty incomes, but at the time I couldn't have both. But my intention is to go back in probably in another month or so. Anyway, so that's the plan. And another reason why I have it up here is it's the monthly dividend company. I really can't do this video without having them on here. So what you see here is the holding and I have it when it's paying out its dividend for each month. I've shaded them different colors, the ones that are adjacent to each other, to make them stand out a little bit and pop. So you'll see that obviously Realty Income, ticker symbol O, pays each and every month, as does JEPI, that ETF. And then 2 rows below is JEPQ, also pays each and every month. They're both managed by JP Morgan. JEPI is more focused on S&P 500 holdings. JEPQ is more focused on the high tech, the NASDAQ holdings. Right below that is Horizon Technology Finance, or ticker symbol HRZN. That is a business development / finance company that focuses on providing capital to startups in the high tech field. Let's go 2 rows back above that. You'll see the alternating holdings of Altria, ticker symbol MO, AbbVie, and then Chevron, each and every month. So January, February, March, January, February, March, January, February, March. You'll notice that most of my holdings pay out in the March, June, September, and December timeframe. So my dividend reinvestment tends to be of greater magnitude in those months, because I have obviously have a greater number of holdings that are paying out, if you will. Then 1 row below, alternating again, we have JP Morgan. So not the ETFs, but the actual company. JP Morgan, ticker symbol JPM, then Verizon, ticker symbol VZ, and then T. Rowe Price, ticker symbol TROW. And then it's again April, May, and June, and then July, August, September, and so on and so forth. And then we have a slight deviation in that pattern. In the next row, we have American Express, ticker symbol AXP. This is a recent acquisition of mine. In February, May, August, and then November. And then right after that, we have Visa, which I love, and that's ticker symbol V, and that's March, June, September, December. Let me say one thing about Visa. The yield is low, but the dividend growth rate, the CAGR, the 5-year CAGR, is spectacular. So I think, in my opinion, everybody should hold Visa. Then 1 row below, we have Coterra Energy. And I've actually held this for a while, the better part of a year, but I was heartened to see and happy to see that SCHD, in doing the reconstitution, has recently added Coterra to their holdings, and as they have AbbVie, which I have several shares of. AbbVie is now, and I should have mentioned this at the beginning when I mentioned AbbVie, is now the largest holding in SCHD. So we have Coterra in March, June, September, and December. And then we have, this is a unique bird here. In May, we have 1 annual dividend, and this is Activision Blizzard. And you've probably been reading about this. Microsoft has made an offer to acquire Activision Blizzard. There's been some resistance by some regulatory authorities in the United Kingdom and in the United States, the DOJ in particular, and the United Kingdom and the EU. So we'll see how that shakes out. But that pays just 1 month. Anyway, let's move on. And then right below Coterra, we have 2 more energy stocks. We have ConocoPhillips, ticker symbol COP, and Devon Energy, ticker symbol DVN. And let me mention something special about both of these stocks. I've talked about them before. They not only pay quarterly dividends, they also pay special dividends. And they pay them in the same month, typically. So instead of getting 4 dividends, you may get 8 with each of these. So having said that, let's move on. Now, I didn't color code the ones below differently. I thought that would have been a little little too much of an eyesore. So we have Bank of America, and then we have Johnson and Johnson, and then we have Pfizer, then we have SCHD. And then we have something called Ares Capital. You may have heard of it. It's a business development company. It has a high yield, as do most business development companies. And then we have Kimball Royalty Partners, ticker symbol KRP. They invest in energy royalties. They pay a wonderful dividend. Let me say one thing about this company. Their stock is fairly inexpensive. I pick it up regularly for $15 a share, and I'm getting about $1.92 dividend. So to me, if there is a risk with a high dividend yield, the risk is not as significant because the price is cheap. So whenever I get a chance, I like to pick up extra shares of KRP. Then we have Lockheed Martin. We love LMT. And then Microsoft. I'm building up my positions there in Microsoft, MSFT. And then we have another industrial defense contractor, Raytheon, ticker symbol RTX. And then we have another energy company, Valero Energy. So all of these pay in the March, June, September, and December time frame. Okay, so you got the color coding. You can always come back to it, but keep it in mind. In the next slide, what I'm showing is what the dividend yield is by holding by each month. So for instance, if one of these holdings has an annual dividend yield of 12%, you're going to see a monthly yield of 1%. So instead of annualizing the yield, I've taken the annual yield and I've monthized it, if that's a word. So you can see the top row is obviously it's realty income, and then you have JEPI, the yellow line. Then 2 rows below you have JEPQ, and then 1 row below that you have Horizon Technology Finance. And then if you go to the 3rd row, you have the alternating, and you had Altria, and we had AbbVie, and then we had Chevron. I'm trying to remember my colors here. So anyway, and then if you go 2 rows below, you start with the gray cell, you see JP Morgan, and then you see, I want to say, I think that's Verizon, and then I think the next one's T. Rowe Price. I'm pretty sure that is what it is. And then you go 1 row below. In February, in the light green, you see American Express and Visa. American Express and Visa. And then when you go the next 2 rows, starting in March, you see ConocoPhillips and Devon Energy. And then you see all the others. So you can see where the yields are coming. And then I just did a tally at the bottom. Now, this only holds if your holdings are identical for each particular the investment in each holding is identical, and then you're going to get about a 6.17% yield in January, and then in April. But that's impossible. But the point here is to show you what type of yield you may approximate in your holdings. Now, this makes more sense when you take this and you crank in the number of shares and you calculate your dividend income, and then you calculate what your actual yield is per month. I didn't do that here. You can do that. I may do that in another video, but I wanted to show you the purpose of this is just to kind of give you a sense of how to plan your dividend income and where the heavy hitters in your dividend income could come and how to identify them. Now, what I basically did here is I extrapolated the last slide where I'm actually taking the dividend dollarized payout for each month. So, for instance, in that first row, you'll see realty income is 26 cents per share per month. So if you have 100 shares, you're going to get about $26 a month. And over 12 months, how much is that? 260 for 10, and then 286, and then 306. It's going to be like 312 or something like that. So you kind of get the picture. And then in the next row, you have your JEPI, and then 2 rows below, you have your JEPQ. So this is really what I'm doing. I like to be strategic. And I got to tell you, when I was younger, I didn't put much stock in doing this. My approach had always been find the best investment, okay, irrespective of where it pays. As long as it pays and you manage your dividend income, that's fine. But I think as you start to advance a little bit and you get a little closer to retirement, this um, this to me I think is a good exercise, and it's a prudent approach to at least look at, so you know when some of your dividend income is going to hit. Not that I would say, hey, listen, I got to get something that hits in January. I got to get something that hits in February. I would say no. But I would say know when these things do hit, get a sense of when they hit, and this could actually inform your budgeting. So if you're going to have more dividend income in March, make sure that you save some of that as you go into April and May, until you get to June where you get another spike. So that's what I'm talking about, being strategic. Strategic in your investing, but also strategic in managing your finances as the dividend income comes in. And then also as you manage your outlays to cover your expenses. So folks, that's all I have. This is a shorter video, but I thought that this was useful. I may update this because as I continue to build my portfolio, I'm going to add more holdings, and I'm looking at a few other investments. Specifically, I'm looking at Costco, I'm looking at Lowe's, and I'm looking closely at Waste Management. Anyway, give me your comments. Tell me what you think. And if you have any ideas you'd like to share, let's see them in the comments field below. For now, I would ask you to smash that like button and the subscribe button and share the video with a friend or a family member. Have a wonderful evening, and God bless.